I'm trying to keep up the pace, so here is the next compilation of interesting urban news. By the way, I'd like to thank my subscribers for some of them, and this is a hint that you can also send me news for review. And of course, don't forget to leave your comments and share this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. The Croatian capital Zagreb is planning to expand its tram network for the first time in 20 years. The city has already announced a tender to select a contractor to lay new tracks on the Sarajevska Cesta street. February 27 was the last day for submitting applications, so we will know the winner quite soon. In total, the city plans to lay 2.25 kilometers of new tracks to the Dugave neighborhood, and in addition, on both sides of the street there should appear bicycle lanes. The total cost of the construction is estimated at 25 million euros, most of which is to be covered by the European Union. And if the tender is successful, the work should start this fall. The new center project is underway in the Polish capital of Warsaw. Its main idea is to transform the center of Warsaw into a more pleasant and human-centered environment. During the implementation, many streets are to be changed with the traffic reorganization, creation of new pedestrian crossings, and planting of new trees. Also, instead of open parking lots, the city plans to create several new public squares and build an underground parking garage. In addition to this, the city is restoring buildings' facades, finishing a pedestrian bridge across the Wisla River, and preparing to open the Museum of Contemporary Art. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong picture. Here is the right one. Not everything is completed on time, but in general there are lots of good changes, and perhaps they should be described in a separate video. The city of Boston is planning to renovate Blue Hill Avenue with a dedicated bus lane in the center of the street from Grove Hall to Mattapan Square, which is about 5 kilometers. Work is scheduled to start in 2026 and the budget is estimated at $44 million. City officials say that bus line here is very busy and moves 37,000 passengers daily, so it is crucial to provide a dedicated bus lane, which will make public transportation more efficient and reduce travel time by 25 minutes. Renovation here is also needed because there is a traffic accident every 3 days, which makes the street one of the most dangerous in the city. Well, this is a very good idea, so let's hope that Boston will succeed. Although, as for me, with such a passenger flow, it is already possible to build a tram line instead of a bus. Maybe later one day they will do that. The Spanish capital of Madrid has presented a strategic plan for subway development that includes the transition of Line 6 and 8 to the use of driverless trains. This will reduce the travel headway to 2 minutes, as well as energy consumption due to the smoother acceleration and braking. By the way, Line 6 is the busiest in the city and moves an average of 618,000 passengers daily. For this upgrade, the city plans to order 80 new trains that should arrive in 2026-29 and replace the current ones from 1980s and 90s. The French city of Lyon is planning to build a new 8-kilometer-long tram line number 10, which should connect Lyon with Vénissieux. The line will have 14 stops with connections to metro lines B and D and tram lines T1 and T4. As in the case with many urban projects in Greater Lyon, this project will completely transform the streets with more bike lanes, trees and fewer cars. After 3 years of construction works, the future T10 is scheduled to be launched in the first quarter of 2026. It is expected that the new line will be used by 22,000 passengers daily, with trams running every 10 minutes from 5 a.m. to about half past midnight. The trip from Altony-Garnier station to Gare de Vénissieux will take 25 minutes compared to about 40 minutes with the current bus route. And the last news for today is from Milwaukee County, which decided not to purchase new battery electric buses in the near future. The local transportation company MCTS has been operating electric buses for about a year, and now officials have decided to buy in the near future only diesel buses. That's because the battery buses in the county proved to be unreliable, and some had to have their batteries replaced after just a month of operation. On top of that, the electric buses themselves are incredibly expensive, $1.2 million each, which is much more than the diesel ones. Another reason given is that there are no manufacturers on the American market that officials trust. For example, Nova Bus, the company from which the county purchased its first electric buses, left the American market in 2023 and is not currently taking new orders. So now officials suggest that the county should continue to replace its outdated buses with the new diesel buses. Meanwhile, the transition to alternative fuel buses will be suspended until these vehicles are further tested and become financially sustainable. If only we could get electricity for movement not from the batteries, but somehow else. That would be great. And that's all the news for today. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for watching and see you in the next videos.